general assistance person. We house the advocate in that office. We might have a few staff coming and going, but really the vision is that when, as far as accessing service, we don't have a lot of people who just walk into our office. A lot of times they call ahead of time. Every once in a while, somebody will walk in, but most of them it's appointments. So the appointments will be out and about in the community. So, for instance, if somebody's already at a provider organization, they can have an appointment there. We will just be asking them for free office space, basically. You know, one morning we might be at a public health office down in wherever, Adams County or something, for a morning, and we'll publicize that, you know, any walk-ins, any people that we need to see that are looking for services, you know, we'll have where we will be on certain days. So our people will be kind of moving around a lot. And then also they'll continue to do what they do now as far as going to people, because most of the time we know people with the significant amount of disabilities that we're working with, usually we go to them anyway, what's most convenient. So they'll be doing a lot of traveling and just changing, you know, they might have 2 or 3 offices that they report to instead of one.
It's cost.
They will all be compensated, all of them, yes. No, there will be about $3 million in funds between District 1 and District 4. And we'll also be able to, you know, reimburse for like paying for the claims that we do pay. We'll have some, we currently have a 2080 between the region and the county. So we'll do something similar as far as having a kind of contract as far as, you know, what pieces, administrative pieces that will be reimbursed. So I imagine there'll be some funds in there for like the auditor's office for assisting in paying claims. Claims, just so you know, big difference than what we do now. I mean, now we're probably paying about $7 million in claims to providers. This is going to be like a total of maybe $400,000, closer to 300,000. So it's not going to be anything like what we do now. Mostly it's going to be payroll, is the majority, is just simply payroll, and a few what they're calling short-term services and supports where we will pay vendors, providers.
State pay the claims then?
So the state now will start paying what the region did as far as longer term services. Those providers will be billing the state directly for that. So we're really kind of getting out of the administrative contracting business.
You said around 3 million for District 1 and 4 together?
Yeah, together. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on page 21 of the contract.
Where's section 3 of the contract at?
Section 3.
Yeah. Says here on page 22, amendment terms of service contract. Section. I can't. Section 1. Section.
Page are you on, Scott?
Page 20.
Oh, 1.8.2.
Yeah. 1.8.2.
Trying to look at it now on your phone. I haven't read that.
This contract and what we got,
No, there's not.
but I think there
This is what he's referring to.
2 in section 3.
So section 3, yeah.
Pardon?
Section 1.
There's reference to how.
Because if we got section 1,
Yeah, on the online version, there's a hyperlink that will take you to the section 3.
but the section 2,
I don't think there is a section 2.
go from section 1
Oh,
to 3.
no, section 2 is in 1.8.1.
You said, Susan, there's a hyperlink for it.
Yeah, there's a hyperlink for section 2 and a hyperlink for section 3, and they're both on page 23 and 26.
Yeah, while she's looking for that. Yeah, what other questions?
Okay,
Have you looked at those sections?
Not the hyperlinks, I have not.
guess in one of those sections then is a mutual agreement to abandon this agreement if both parties give certain notice. That accurate? Kristen? Okay. I didn't read sections 1 and 2. And 1 I did so much, but 2 and 3 I didn't. I don't know if we need to have those reviewed then or not. Did you review those?
So Suzanne, are you comfortable with the effective date of this contract as April 1st, 2025, especially as it pertains to bringing District 1 on April 1?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, we're gonna have a lot of work to do between, well, this whole first year, April 1, we've got a lot going on just with shutting down, closing down the region and then starting this up. So am I comfortable with it? Yes. Is it gonna be a lot of work? Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work, but nothing more than what we're used to handling. As far as District 1, we don't have to have like all of our staffing up and going on July 1 in District 1. District 4 will be fully staffed, I'm assuming. District 1, we will probably have to hire up to 5 people at the most, maybe 4.
Will we use our people?
We will use our people first and foremost, yes. But currently, we have about 19 employees currently that work for the region. This will probably be 21. So not a big lift, not a big ask. We'll need to hire people around the Sioux City area. They really lack, we've got people that are coming over from Rolling Hills region that we kind of partnered with our RFP. That's 2 service coordinators and their current CEO. And their person they have in Woodbury County is retiring. So we know that's an area that there will be a need. They haven't been as staffed up as we have, and they haven't provided the level of service that we've provided as far as this type of service coordination. So, but over the probably first 6 months, we'll get a few more hired up in that area. So,
Okay, my next question is.
Yeah.
Payroll will be reimbursed, will pay out, and then they'll reimburse, correct?
yeah, and that they did, so through the contract negotiations that all 4 of the disability access points had, we did get them to change how the funding formula they're using. So like there's an upfront payment now that is better than it was before. So they're basically giving us 2 months in July instead of 2 months to cover the payroll instead of 1 month. So between that and then this, I'm calling them startup funds, the $142,000 that we get April 15th and June 1st, we should have enough money to put into our account that we will stay ahead of payroll as we move forward through this.
Okay.
So yeah, because we were able to get that extra July 1, we shouldn't have any problem always being ahead as far as
Okay,
being able to pay out payroll.
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
If we were gonna lag behind.
Yes, because that was a concern. So, yep, I am not. Good question, though. Yeah.
You can't retire at 29.
I
Suzanne,
can't retire at 29. I'd be way too young for that. Thank you, John.
few questions. Where in this does it talk about payment for the payroll service?
It doesn't. There isn't, well, it does, it doesn't, it doesn't. It doesn't say it directly, but there's an administrative cost that is allowed. And that's 7%, up to 7%. Of course, it includes other things, but through conversations with them, and then there's also current rules that are being developed that kind of back up the law. There's administrative costs that, and they've said during our negotiations, they realize that, yes, there will be payroll costs, just as if you would pay payroll to a outside company or vendor. So,
It doesn't say anything in here either about the space rental. Is that part of this upfront?
right, that would be administrative cost as well. So we can pay for space if we need to. I'm hoping to get as much of it at the bargain price of zero as possible, but we realize we will still have to pay a little rent places.
So you mentioned that you won't need that much space.
No,
Is the two offices where you currently have your administrative staff, is that enough?
that would be awkward. Okay. Probably not. That's more of a reception area, so that would just be different. I don't know then what you would do. Yeah, I think there's a lot of discussion we need to have about what that space can be used for, and that's obviously up to you guys, but yeah, whether we stay there or if we swap with another office or something.
Up with another office?
No swap. I mean, yeah, we can go offsite if you,
No,
Need us
I'm just asking.
but we could, yeah, we could look at swapping with another department or, that might need more space.
You move secondary roads back.
You can move secondary roads back, yeah.
Be a good call. So your budget is 3 million and you're gonna provide $400,000 worth of service?
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all payroll. It's really just providing that service coordination navigation that we've provided. So it's a different ballgame. I mean, it used to be a lot more administrative, contracting, setting up services, establishing services, and it's just not that anymore. It reminds me of if I went back to 1992 when I was hired, of targeted case management when we first started. And just providing that navigation of the system to people.
One last question for
Yep.
you then. On the general assistance side.
Yep.
I think that's about a $300,000 budget.
Yep.
How much of the salary of the administrator of that is in that budget? You recall?
Yeah, we're gonna make some changes to that. So what I'm hoping to do is, for the administration of that, I'll continue to be over that budget and overseeing it, but we're going to move that off of, the current step and grade and make that, what would be, probably an administrative assistant position. So, we will just be running that service different. So I'll be bringing that to you as we move forward with the plans there. Because we will need to post that internally but I kind of have a plan, so we can definitely talk about that, but it will definitely save administrative costs for that program.
Yeah, you can't have $100,000 employee, but.
We cannot, for sure. Yep.
So I know you're right in the middle of the transition. You'll have some of them answers as we move forward.
Yep.
I'm fine with what you got.
I'm good.
I will make the motion to grant permission for the Director of Community Services to sign the Disability Access Point contract with the Iowa Department of Health and Human Services.
I'll second.
Okay. First and second. Discussion, any more discussion?
Good luck.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Thanks, Suzanne.
We know how difficult this is. We're here for you.
We need to move on.
Not that we can help you. We're here.
We need to keep us abreast of our employees, if you would, please.
Yep, I definitely will. And my next stop is HR too, to just talk about some changes we need to make here and there for step and grade and things. So, yep, I will definitely keep you posted. Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Appointment with our new good friends. They could call and make an appointment with you.
March 25th.
Oh, the 25th. Yeah, they're here the 25th for a whole 2 hours.
Think you'll get it all in? No.
There's way more to share than 2 hours
Seemed
worth
like
of.
a quick little time.
Yeah.
Okay, John Rasmussen, engineer, Tina Triantos. Triantos. I should know how that is. Operations, administrator, secondary roads, discussion and or decision to approve the following job descriptions: assistant, project manager, and project manager. Take it away.
So I'm gonna
Thanks, David.
memo the board on some changes we want to make. We haven't been successful in filling our bridge foreman. We've had Brandon been kind of handling the bridge crew and doing inspections, which having them together works really well. We're gonna further develop that and kind of create the assistant project manager to do bridge inspections as well. So there'll be some training there. It'd take about 5 years to get them up to speed, so we need to be able to retain that person so they don't get stolen from us once we get their certifications up. So we kind of made some middle ground between not quite the project manager, but the bridge duties. Then we'll use that person to kind of manage the bridge crew like we would a contractor. So the reporting is very similar with our own crew that is with a contractor to the state. So a lot of that's going to be similar for them. So it just seemed like a good fit to fill a position that we can't seem to fill.
You've got 3 on the bridge crew,
The 5.
5? Okay.
And we have a bridge foreman there that we haven't been able to fill. So there's actually 6 there, yeah.
Have we, people lost that skill or what? How come we can't fill that?
I don't think we can compete with the private industry is a lot of the issue. We can develop the crane operators. I mean, it takes several years to get that done, but just to hire somebody outside of our organizations hasn't worked for us.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay,
Hold on, just sure.
so, John, when you were here last time, I thought you said that when Brandon came on, that he was going to handle that position. Is that not the case?
He's got the bridge crew underneath him and doing the inspections, so there's no redundancy. We're all bundled up in Brandon, I guess.
Okay. So this will be a management position?
Yes.
A couple of years ago when you came in, you eliminated management positions, said you didn't need them. Now all of a sudden you need them back.
We did away with the 2 assistants. Now we're back to 1 assistant, and we have a upcoming retirement too. So our numbers aren't changing or aren't going up. We have the same amount of FTEs we've had for a long time now.
I mean, I don't, the number of FTEs don't bother me. It's where they sit. We need people on the roads working, right? This assistant project manager, you want the range to be 35 to 42?
Yes.
Some change? You're gonna pay somebody $72,000 a year, and they won't be certified for 5 years?
They're being trained. It takes 5 years to complete the certification, so we're gonna get them moving through that on the inspections, but
Where should, do you have an org chart? Can you provide that to us?
say that again.
Org chart.
An org chart?
You have the original. I have the one we submitted earlier with me. It's not updated for this new position yet.
What will this do to the amount of money we spend on what I will refer to as, professional services? I see a large amount of money that we spend on that.
Yeah, probably no change in there. I don't see the professional services coming down until the grants are done. I don't know that grants are gonna live in the new administration we have, that those will keep going. That's where a lot of that money is going now, is just to keep us competitive in there, or finish the grant we have. This position, I mean, they're gonna do the bridge inspection, part of it, but they're also gonna have inspecting on our contractor. So they're gonna do similar work as people we have now. Just their priority is gonna be on the bridge inspection piece.
I would really like to see us shop those professional services. I think there's other people with other expertises than what you're using.
Yeah, McClure is our biggest one right now.
Well, you got another one that's pretty big.
John, in, back to the assistant project manager right now, is that, will that be a new hire?
I don't know at this point. I will have to post it internally. If it's not filled internally, then it's gonna go external.
We'll be adding somebody. Either way,
Well, we won't be filling a vacancy we have either. So overall, we're not moving up. We're just not filling a vacancy. So we'll bring that position back to be removed from our organization once we get this done.
where does the project manager come into play?
The project managers now are doing the design and construction for federal aid, state and federal aid projects. So this position is gonna have those duties, but not as a priority.
What, do we have somebody in that position right now?
We have two of them right now.
Okay, you need to hire another one?
Yes,
You want to add another person
yes,
on the management side of things?
yes.
I don't get it, John. I mean, 2 years ago, you had enough management. And we needed more people that were working. Now you want to add to the management side?
Add to our technical team.
Well, our technical team is HGM.
We're not adding a project manager. You're not asking for that.
Oh,
We're
oh,
just
I'm
asking
sorry.
to update the job description to add this from one certificate.
We have two project managers now. We updated that job description, but we're not asking for another project manager, just the assistant project manager to do the bridge inspections. One position is what we're looking to add.
You just told me you were gonna add another one.
I was confused in what you're asking.
We're essentially reallocating the bridge foreman to the assistant project manager. We just have a job description approved for it.
Yes, we have a management position now. We're converting it into a different management position.
And we do have a key person retiring off that crew this summer, so we're trying to get ahead of that to get some training and overlap.
When that
In
person-
your budget?
Yeah, because it's actually a lower pay grade than the bridge foreman.
Why wouldn't we have had that discussion? It wasn't that long ago that we did the budget and had budget discussions. Why was not this brought forward at that point?
A lot of them are just kind of waiting for retirements to line up just to see. When we make changes, I like to make them by attrition, so we don't impact anybody. So I think we're,
This is in
Aiming
our
for that.
current budget as well. We budgeted for the bridge foreman in our current budget. We're just asking to reallocate that position down to the assistant project manager and a lower pay grade.
Right, but we didn't do that at budget time. We're trying to do it now. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I guess somebody walked
Yeah,
in.
no, when we approved the current budget and then we want to get this take effect, not in the next budget. I know once we got the retirement notice, we started looking at,
So you got a retirement notice in the last, whatever, 6 or 8 weeks, I take it. And that gentleman does what?
on our technical team. It's on the same team.
He's on the technical team.
Yeah,
How many years he been with us?
15, 16.
16.
Another thing that's come about is, when they're auditing our bridge reports, we need a second set of eyes. So we have, Brandon's gonna swap with Shelby. He's gonna inspect some of their bridges. Shelby's gonna come inspect some of our bridges, so we get this overlap.
Can't use that guy comparison, can we?
No. So then I think we're gonna have to use a consultant to get through our audit this year. So I'm trying to build up so we can get around some of that audit requirements too, or have the second set of eyes.
Good. Any further questions? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Those opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Hearing none, or hearing one, motion passes. Okay. Right along. Motion, second to approve signing the health services building change order. Round 01. Maria,
Good morning.
morning.
So the health services project came in under budget. And change order number 1 will credit $541,275.11 back to Potawatomi County. The construction costs of the building were $6,097,304, and this is gonna reduce those to actual construction costs of $5,556,028.89. It's due in part, it's due to pretty much these 3 things, that the building material costs came in below what we had expected, just because of the shortage at the time. We had planned ahead. And we were able to purchase ahead and store some of those on site for use later. And then construction was completed 2 months ahead of schedule, which allowed us to save some costs with Boyd Jones not being on site for those 2 months. And then return of the built-in expenses for the contingency and construction allowances.
Does this include the other professional services? Is there other bills coming above this 5.5?
So we had one, there was one additional bill for $88,349.56. And that is not above this dollar figure. So it's zeroed out at that point. We submitted the claim for that this week. We're gonna get reimbursed and then it's zeroed out.
Okay.
Thanks, Mitch.
Remember the ballpark number?
I don't know, top man.
120.
125.
125.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think that, the public health team did a pretty good job on this. This was a project that board had never done before. We have always done competitive bidding. For the most part, got a final contract and I don't remember what we called this process, but it seemed to work for us.
Design build.
And, the only question I have is, Mitch, since we don't have to spend these funds, where are they?
They would still be in our land fund,
Okay, so there's no ARPA fund, right?
not tied to this. And this isn't really a credit back. It's a reduction of the contract
Right.
amounts. We're not gonna check back for, we're just not gonna spend that extra money.
Right. Okay,
I agree, Tim. They've done a good job over there.
boy, it was pretty tough sledding for us to do that.
Yep.
And it worked, so be happy with that.
I'd still like to see a pedestrian crosswalk across that street between the courthouse and public health building, but I know the city didn't look favorably on that request.
Talk to Jason Slack for more information on that.
I can't hear you.
I said I could talk to Jason Slack for more information on that.
We talked to the city and they weren't too interested in putting a crosswalk and lights on Fifth Avenue, but who knows? The mayor's here and he really likes it, so maybe we can get something done on it.
Middle of the block or is it?
I don't know,
The
man.
middle of the block.
So
Close.
send myself an email.
As you know, everybody goes to the corner, right? Not.
Similar to what they cross when they walk from City Hall to courthouse or the courthouse to City Hall.
Place.
This, the whole process worked really good. I mean, we had some issues with the windows. They made the contractor come back and replace all the windows.
Yep.
They had some, weather stripping issues on the window, on a couple windows. They made them come back and replace them all. I mean, it's, well, it was a new experience for the board. I think it was one that I won't forget. It seemed to work out really well, so I'm really happy for that.
It's a nice building.
It is. And thank you all for your support through the process.
It's good compliments on it. People come in, get service. That's nice.
It's an excellent setup for us.
Cool.
Absolutely.
You still need a motion?
Yeah.
So moved.
Second,
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
hi,
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes.
thanks, Maria.
Thanks, Maria. Go get some more grant money.
Always looking.
Kitchen, always kitchen. Okay, discussion and or decision on voluntary annexation of the southern Potawatomi County adjacent to 192nd Street and to approve and sign resolution 15-025 entitled a resolution in support of the proposed annexation of 473 acres of land legally described as being part of section 29-74-43 and 32-74-43, Potawatomi County, Iowa, parts sections 5-73-43 and 6-73-43, Mills County, Iowa, as shown in exhibits A and B and presented to the city of Council Bluffs, Iowa, utilizing the 80-20 voluntary annexation, including land without the consent of the landowners in a non-urbanized area.
This is a resolution in opposition of the proposed annexation.
No, it's not.
Tim, I think you have one of each.
What?
You have the resolution from last week that is the resolution in favor, and then there's also the resolution with proposed changes. That's a resolution in opposition. I think the board needs to decide what resolution they want to sign.
Right, well, what's on the agenda today, Scott? It says a resolution in opposition of the proposed annexation.
I don't know why the word opposition's there.
The notes that I was given are on the new proposed resolution. There's also the original resolution as it was written last week.
Published one says support.
There is,
Say it again, John.
The published one says support.
How would that fit on there, Christine?
That's what I sent out yesterday, Josh.
I know, but we weren't in opposition. We were,
We can also amend the, like,
well,
but all the items were covered that we discussed.
Yeah.
Are in the resolution.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Well,
we, according to Matt's, or City of Council Bluffs representative that was here tonight, I can't remember her name quite. Courtney
harder.
Today, is the day that we need to finish this.
Yeah, so we have to amend it if we want to amend it.
I think the final day of submission is the 19th.
19.
That's tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
There's just so many things in this resolution that's on our agenda today that don't fit. It says the Board of Supervisors do not agree that the boundaries proposed in A and B would create uniform boundaries.
That's true.
And then goes on to direct the City of Council Bluffs. And on the last, well, let me go to the last paragraph first. It says the Board of Supervisors hereby oppose the attached application for annexation.
Gonna change that. Don't know why it says that, because I said we were in total support of the annexation. We just weren't in support of the other items that were listed there.
And then in the last paragraph, it says that we direct the city to amend the said application to address the concerns outlined by the county. We are separate government bodies. I don't think we can direct the city to do anything. My proposal would be to go back to the original resolution that was put in front of us a week ago and move that one.
It's already been denied.
Well, it can come back up. Well, if the people that voted it down,
Right, want to bring it back up?
they want to bring it back up, we can.
Yeah.
That would require Jeff and Brian to do that.
Right.
Here's where I'm, okay, I'm all for, you know, Aaron had a conversation with you, not, problem I had with it was some of the things that on there that pertain to us taking over half the roadway down there, for instance. You know, where the traffic analysis is gonna have to happen. I understand that all of that is gonna be in the future. And so whatever needs to happen, I'm for the development of that part of the county. If we can address any of the issues that we have, that'd be fine. But I'm not opposed to annexation at this.
From my understanding, and then I'll defer to John, because I wasn't in the engineers meeting, is that there was some misunderstanding as to what we were taking over. We're taking over, one, this is standard how they do it, is the middle of the road, because in a lot of cases, there's a different property owner on the other side of the road than one side. In some cases, both sides are owned by it. But we would, our plan is to pave to the city's shooting range, law enforcement shooting range that the county and the city and other agencies use on a regular basis. And there may be just a little bit of roadway that's in the annexation area and then the annexation area deviates away from 192nd Street. And then further to the north, it catches back up. And we currently own one side of the roadway, and the annexation petition says we are taking the other side. So if there's any stretch, it's like 100 and some feet the other side of the shooting range. But the project company would apply for a RISE grant. They're required to pay 20% of the 80%. And then the city wants to extend that area because it's not germane to the project to finish up the paving to the law enforcement center, because again, there's for years been some expressed concern about track and mud and that type of stuff. So, and then John, when I said I'd defer to John, I think the traffic study is done, and I think that was reviewed by Matt Cox, Public Works Director, someone from John's office and someone from Mills County last Tuesday. So I'd defer to John because I wasn't in that meeting. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I don't think the roadway stuff, that sounds familiar. I don't think we've seen a traffic study, and I'm not sure we will until the developer can provide that.
I don't know.
I don't know they have the data yet to have that.
They told us they had it, and we asked them to get it to us on Monday, so it'd be there for the meeting Tuesday. So I don't know. All that's it.
That is correct. So I have a meeting at 11 o'clock about the traffic study. They have it done, and they should be releasing that to us this week. So they did not have the opportunity
They
to
did.
look at it prior to last week.
But the reason the company chose that location is they needed rail access. They ship out the vast majority of their product by rail. In fact, the design I've seen of the plants are the railroad tracks on both sides of the building go into the building. And as they finish product, they load it onto a train and then ship it via rail. And so the people coming off going to the site by truck would use the Bellevue exit, or some people call it Bundy Road. They're not gonna look at 192nd and go,
let's just try that route and see where that goes. So, and I know there was some concern that it would increase traffic by Lewis Central. They are not gonna go that. There'd be no reason to go that route. They would have been brought in by their GIS system to Bellevue exit, and they would exit there to get back on the interstate to go their route. They're not, this company does not do local delivery. They sell products that municipalities use. So they would be delivering to municipalities throughout the United States, so, or at
Is,
least the Midwest.
is Mills County planning on paving that? From the exit north?
So you may know more. Initially, because, we did not, the road is in Mills County. I was told that, Mills County would need to apply for a RISE grant.
Okay.
Matt Cox has since changed his opinion and the city would apply for a RISE grant to pave it. It's an immediate need because, there is a project that will happen immediately. And so, those RISE grants are 80-20. The state IDOT pays 80% and it's a 20% match in the agreement that we've given the company. They are responsible for coming up with a 20% match. Weren't too pleased about it. They said we're gonna put in a public road for other users in the area, but I believe they are accepting that.
Mayor, will that be to city specs or how will that work down there?
I haven't seen the engineering, but I assume that it will be, certainly will be a hard surface road. I don't know how the
Curb
ditches-
and gutter?
Yeah, I don't know how that will be treated, to be honest with you.
So our road down there, or I should, our easement down there is in the DOT right of way. It's not ours, it's the DOT's.
Yeah, the section right in front of the shooting range is definitely the Department of Transportation. We're just gonna pay the whole thing.
But I mean, all the way down, almost to the corner where the transfer station or the pump station, whatever you want to call it, is in DOT right
Yeah.
away.
It looks,
Not
and that's why I
ours.
said
It's
early
not
on that
ours.
it wasn't all the length of the annexation there. I think there's a little area that it does not encompass. We plan to pave the shooting range. There's another couple hundred feet, I think. But as development happens, and we have other interested parties in developing down there, we then will apply to the DOT for a RISE grant for their project. And hopefully that will get a big majority of the roadway finish. It won't do it all. I'm sure there'll be fits and it really needs, you and I wrote it the other day. It needs re-engineered. It needs a new bridge over Mosquito Creek. And so, those are future projects, I think, that will take
But we
place.
still, at the end of the day, end up with half a road. Or half a easement.
Well,
In a DOT right of way.
I don't think that's, well, I'm not sure.
But I'm saying,
Understand
we
what
have
you're
an,
saying. It's-
we have an easement and it's in the DOT right of way. And if we don't, if the road doesn't get moved, then we still have half
I
of it.
thought that's what you're saying. We can check into that. If we're gonna repave it, we would.
No, it's
push our
definitely,
Part of the road to you up to the repaving there.
Right.
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, it's easily in the DOT right of way.
Okay, since we're in the DOT right away, do we have jurisdiction technically on that?
So I found the agreement from, I can't remember, if it's 75. It's in the DOT right away, but they paid us to maintain it. So we have like a maintenance responsibility, but they never transferred property to us. So we just have an agreement that will maintain that road. And I think one of our items originally was, we'll work on the 2080 agreement, what roads we share in the city and county, and that road can be
And I think
assigned
that
either
was
one
the
of it.
discussion on
Yeah.
Tuesday.
I think that was one of the remedies for that area. So city can take
Yeah,
responsibility.
I
for it.
misunderstood when you brought that up the other day, because I looked and I said, well, this is DOT right away, and we're gonna pave to the shooting range, and then on the other side, we actually we already had half the responsibility, we're taking the other half, and I went, I don't understand, but now I do, so.
Well, the concern is that if they, and you know, who knows, 2050, 2080, they go to widen the DOT 29 south.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I got a call into them for 2 weeks now and talked to them, and they got some guy, God was named Bill something, was supposed to go down and do some right-of-way, investigation.
We think we're gonna have to change 192nd
That,
and Bungie Avenue to get away from the
that's
egress
not-
access.
that's
I don't
never
see
been-
them moving the interstate per se itself, but the exit could be.
well, I think they're gonna have to lengthen those ramps.
Yeah, and so to that, we've already anticipated that and we plan to move that away, which maybe relinquishes your half the road anyhow, but
Well, that's the
the road
discussion.
guys we're talking about it. Tuesday, potentially stayed out of the meeting, so I can't.
Well, and I didn't know it was a meeting, so I wouldn't have been able, was that last Tuesday? We would have been in here, sitting in here, I guess, so.
John, do you have concerns with this? John, what, do you have concerns with this?
No, I think they've got solutions with the RISE grant, pays for the work, the developer pays for the cost share. We can write an agreement to handle the maintenance. I think roads wise, I think there's solutions there. I mean, we haven't realized the solutions yet, but they're feasible, yeah.
So the solutions come when developers come. I mean, there's 200 to 240 acres just north of the shooting range that's developable. And, you know, and that's how that's how I would like the board to look at it. There's development possibilities down there. I think being in opposition of the annexation is nowhere close to where I wanna be. And, you know, we need to be a player and a partner, and we certainly don't want to send a signal that, we're in opposition of development because of a road that may have an issue or may not have an issue.
It's got an issue.
And there's raise grants and rise grants and developer costs that could cover the road. I think it's something that we address down the road. And if we can't afford to be a partner in the development of that road, then I think we're missing the,
Just one thing, I think that Tuesday meeting, that was not a meeting that was done in response to last Tuesday's county board meeting. That
No.
meeting had been scheduled.
No,
prior to the county.
I don't.
So we recognize the road issues. We're working with Mills County engineer, Pot County's engineer, and our public works director to.
John, just real quick, just to let you know, I'm advocating for an increase in the total weight limits on the interstates and highways. I'm talking to legislators.
Hey, this, yeah,
Yeah,
we have to stay on.
well, this involves the traffic down in that area. I mean, you're looking at industrial development down there that's gonna have increased truck traffic. And is there Bungie, for example?
Yeah,
But, so,
this is not part of what we're,
okay, what I'm gonna say is.
you can, in open discussion, you can have those talks, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
But whatever we need to do, I'm willing to take another look at.
Susan and I voted yes on that. So it would take a motion by you and a second by Brian to bring resolution 2025 back to vote on. And I would ask you to consider that.
I would make that motion right now. That's me. Thank you.
Really feel we need the development. I'm very concerned about the road and the agreement, how we do this. I mean, I truly am. I've talked,
This resolution that's presented now can be amended, so don't think it can't. But
However,
this
you
one
guys
on
wanna
the
do it.
no,
agenda.
no, it's not about however we want to do it. You get your vote, everybody up here gets their vote. The one that's in front of us right now can be amended and the words opposition removed. You know,
Well, Jeff, you made a motion to go for resolution 2025. Brian, did you second that?
No, I haven't. I have not.
Will you consider your second?
I'm considering this 15-2025 is what I'm doing. What would we amend this to, Scott?
or take the word opposition out of there.
The note I have right now is a resolution in support of proposed annexations on the first line. And then also in the last, or the first line of the last paragraph, the same. That's the only thing I can go more.
In the paragraph that says, now therefore be it resolved that the Potawatomi County Board of Supervisors do not agree that the attached application for annexation of the real estate described in Exhibit A to the City of Council Bluffs conforms to Iowa code. I don't know about the relevance of that paragraph. It looks like should go back to how Resolution 12-2025 stated it.
In the last paragraph, where it says, we oppose the attached application. As it's written, and direct the city to amend the application to address the concerns outlined by the county.
Sorry, Tim, I also took off that last sentence.
It's a lot cleaner to go back to the resolution we had last week
It is not.
and make it.
We didn't write that resolution. And when you start writing resolutions for another government entity,
Who wrote this one, Scott?
who wrote it?
Yeah.
This entity did.
Did you write it?
Well, yeah, I did.
Oh, well, I don't like the way you wrote it.
Well,
You're in
that's fine.
opposition. It says
I'm not in opposition.
That's what your resolution.
No, that's
says.
what she wrote. I told her I wasn't in opposition a zillion times.
I don't know why this is so hard.
I don't know why it is.
Kristen, so we take out oppose and opposition. Matt, have you read this one?
I have not fully read that. I just listening, and you take out opposition, what do you insert in favor, support of?
Yes.
So my understanding of how this works, because Scott said a couple times, well, you should have changed the annexation plan to incorporate what the county wanted to hear. It's a state process that, is,
It doesn't say.
we tried to,
anywhere.
we try, no, this is general in the process that we have to follow the state's, procedures, and the state's procedures is you develop an annexation proposal, and then you hold a public hearing on that proposal. And so then if we changed it and put new language in it, then we'd have to start all over. We'd have to notice people. We'd have to hold another public hearing on the proposal. How it really works is the city submits a proposal. People are able to comment on the proposal, and the city is required to take those comments and incorporate them with the proposal and send it to the state annexation board for their review. And then they see what everybody has to say on what their concerns are, what their objections are, and then they do the math when they get it.
John sent a letter over.
And we incorporated that. I actually thought that was your comments. We can leave it in or take it out and replace it with whatever you want to do today.
To stay in.
Yeah, I thought that that was your comments back.
His letter, yeah?
Last
What
week
did
we
you
asked
change?
Courtney if the
Delivered
letter
it
had
hand,
been
Matt
considered.
Wyatt delivered it.
You guys
To me by hand like you requested. And again, I thought that was your comments relative to the hearing. And then last Tuesday, I heard people say, well, you didn't incorporate any things that were in the letter. Well, that isn't really how it works. We give the letter with the annexation plan to the state annexation board. And if they want to incorporate it, they can do it. But like I say, if we did that and incorporate it, then we have to start the whole process all over. And notify everybody, and this is the new annexation plan, and this is when the new public hearing would be held. The way it works is all concerns are incorporated in that pack, shipped off to the state annexation board.
Was that a couple weeks ago?
They came to you and you guys.
It was two meetings ago.
I do remember.
Yeah, 2 meetings ago.
So if we change this to 15/20/25, we gotta start over then.
Just incorporate whatever.
This
you want.
resolution just sits with the documents.
The letter that you sent in it said, we are not opposed, and so if you're opposed, I'll pull that letter and resubmit the one that says you're opposed to.
No, we're not. Just be part of the road. If we're gonna be part of the road, we wanna know we're gonna be part of the roads.
Yeah, I
We
know
don't-
that
we
they're
don't-
talking about moving the location of the road because there's anticipation that they're gonna change that interchange, but that's certainly not my area of expertise, so I've been at the design table drawing that change. I know there's been conversations to that effect, because Matt Cox told me this road needs to be moved away from the interstate.
Well, at this point, you guys suggest I rescind my own motion.
No,
Do what you want.
we're still discussing. So you think that bottom part will be moved to the east?
Portion next to the interstate will be moved to the east, yes.
The only way it can go.
And at that point,
And
do we
probably,
participate in that?
no, we're doing that with the RISE grant. You have no money in the.
Well, yeah, we don't receive the RISE grant, we gotta be partners and we still wanna try to get the people here. And so we'll
I would assume,
find a vehicle to finance it.
I would assume that the state would pay the RISE grant. This has been a project that's seen more incentive than I've ever seen in my career. The governor invited these people to her office, to meet with them, and so I'm pretty sure the state's very interested in making this project happen. So I can't imagine they.
She must have not been very receptive down to Mills County. Then.
Yeah.
She must not invite them there, cause they're in a different stage.
Well, this is not the supervisors, this was the company.
No, but I'm just saying, she should have probably had some talks with those folks. This one is. So we
In the
can
interest of making it go forward, I'll second.
second what?
That's the only motion on the floor right now.
No, he pulled his.
No, he didn't.
What the?
I just.
You're gonna second his?
Yes.
Yeah,
You're going back to the original resolution?
yeah, I am.
Okay. So.
With the removal of the word opposition.
No, they wanna go back to the
We're going back to
original
12.
resolution that we
12/20/25.
that we didn't approve.
I appreciate you two doing that. I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's the right way to go. You heard from the city and their plan is to work really hard on RISE grants, raise grants. The developers, be a partner in economic development and, I appreciate that very much.
Still, concerned about how we have half a road, so.
I am concerned about that. That's been my whole concern.
Well, again, I think it's, they redesigned the road to move it away from the intersection. It's no longer in that location, and I want to think that you any longer have any financial responsibility associated with it, but I'd leave that to John and Cox.
We don't really have many roads that we run down a mile and then just hit gravel for another, whatever, 3 miles and then hit pavement again. And you don't do, I mean, the road that we got out there now coming from the south doesn't have any curbs and gutters on it, and it's paved, and, who knows what's gonna happen with that school.
My assumption is 99% of the people who use that road bought their property when that road was in its current condition.
Oh, yeah.
So they're used to that. Like I say, I don't see this project sending any traffic down that road. We need to strategically address the improvements along that road, and I think with some of the projects that appear to be on the horizon, that we can do it sooner rather than later.
Well, and we got that bridge down
It's a
there,
couple,
now,
2.5 mile in length road that
Right.
needs to be re-engineered.
too. And we got those two bridges down there that need to be addressed. So, okay. Roll call?
Chairman Bell,
No, hey,
Supervisor Wickman,
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Shea,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Aye.
okay. Moving right along. Discussion and decision on Western Iowa Tourism Annual County Membership Dues fiscal year 25-26.
It's my understanding that we haven't been participating in this, and if you look at the email from that was received when Mark Shoemaker and Mark Ekman both said that it wasn't worth the effort
Yeah.
and the funds.
They never came, so
Yeah,
No.
I would, if you want a motion for that, Scott, I would make a motion to
Alright.
deny the membership dues for 25-26.
Second.
any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Okay, Matt Wilbur, County Attorney, discussion and decision on process for ICAP claims.
No, is that,
Not here today.
pardon?
Matt isn't here today.
You might want to jump up here, Kristen.
I thought.
We got this band running right here and it just, it's hard to hear unless somebody speaks up.
I thought we took care of this a meeting or two ago.
No.
We discussed it last meeting. There was a
Thanks, Matt.
revised letter provided,
Hey, Matt.
in draft.
5:30, Matt.
It hasn't been sent yet.
Up there.
So I think this is just for any further discussion as necessary. Otherwise, we can send the revised letter out.
Well, Matt sent us a letter. Did you
Right.
guys respond to that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think there were 3 people who responded and 2 who had not. I'm not sure which ones those were, so.
I'm fine with the letter that Matt put.
Yeah.
So we need to, what does it say on the agenda? Decision. I'll make a motion that we, send the letter that, Matt provided us on the process for ICAP claims, starting with all claims go to, I don't want to recite it. The
Right.
process that we have right now.
It's in the letter.
Yeah.
I'll second.
You have any discussion on that, Mr. Coleman?
No, I do not. Matt shared the letter with me as well.
You have any discussion on that, Ms. Lemrick?
No, looks good.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Okay,
Thank you.
update from the board members on committee meetings for the past week. Yeah,
I don't have anything along those lines. I did attend the legislative coffee Saturday. And very interesting. I appreciate the state legislators getting involved at that point, but that's all I have.
Went to the VA last week and then I spent some time up in Des Moines for the ISAC convention. And didn't get home till late enough, so that's good.
that's it.
That's it. That was enough.
Tim,
My brain.
Susan?
I attended the ISAC meeting in Des Moines as well, and I thought our first session was really good. It was on civility. And my takeaway from that was if you model it, you model it if you expect it. And I just thought that kind of resonated. Thursday afternoon, we met with our legislators and senators and spoke specifically about the changes in the behavioral health system and had our chance to voice our concerns from the Potawatomi County perspective, and I'll let Mary Ann provide additional information on that meeting. And then Saturday, I attended the legislative coffee in Avoca as well.
I was at the legislative coffee in Avoca. I was also at ISAC. And, seems like there were some other things I had to do. I think it was at the ski hills and.
About that.
Can't remember the other one I was sitting in, but I think that's about it. Okay, we got now public comment. Now is the time for public comments. We will now discontinue the live broadcast from the advice of our county attorney.